Hey, what's up guys? John here. The IRS just furloughed over 34,000 employees. This is roughly half of their entire workforce due to the recent government shutdown.
IRS also announced on Wednesday that it's furloughing more than 34,000 employees. That's roughly half their workforce and could mean the closure of taxpayer call centers.
CNBC calls this the first major agency hit as funding runs out, while The Guardian warns that taxpayer services are grinding to a halt. Politico reports that 46% of IRS operations are suspended, which means that no one is there to process returns, answer phone calls, or handle audits.
The shutdown is also hitting the IRS hard, with nearly half of its workforce now furloughed. About 39,000 employees will remain on the job under a new Treasury plan. Comes just a week before the tax filing extension deadline.
And this isn't just about taxes. This shutdown is freezing data, stalling paychecks, and pushing the U.S. economy towards another multi-billion-dollar setback. It's October 2025, and once again, political gridlock in Washington has turned into a crisis for everyone else.
After lawmakers in Washington failed to break a stalemate again yesterday, the government shutdown is now entering into its 9th day.
But what's really going on behind the scenes? How did we get here? And what does this mean if this continues to go on for much longer? So let's break this down. What is actually happening right now? The short version, Congress failed to pass a funding bill. Every year, lawmakers are supposed to agree on how to fund government. Everything from defense to healthcare, to agencies like the IRS and the FAA. But when they don't, money stops flowing. And by law, tens of thousands of federal workers have to stop working. That's why the IRS just sent home 34,000 workers, roughly half of their entire staff.
Nearly half of the IRS staff has been furloughed as part of the agency's new shutdown contingency plan.
Some are considered essential, like air traffic controllers and border security. They still work, but without pay until Congress cuts a deal.
Right now, it's day 9 of the government shutdown, another day of no progress on Capitol Hill. Meanwhile, we're fast approaching the October 15th date where military members will miss out on their first paycheck.
Others are considered non-essential, which means they cannot work and they have to be sent home without pay. So they are literally locked out of a job. The problem is, the more this goes on, the more it will ripple out through the U.S. economy. Government workers, they miss paychecks. Contractors stop getting paid. Tax refunds and business loans are delayed. Even basic things like small business permits and housing programs freeze up. We have seen this before. The last major shutdown between 2018 and 2019 lasted 35 days. It cost the U.S. economy $11 billion, and roughly a quarter of that was never recovered.
The cost of the federal government shutdown is $11 billion. There is a $3 billion permanent hit to economic activity that will not be recouped.
This one is shaping up to be the second largest government shutdown in U.S. history, if things keep going the way that prediction markets suggest. Kalashi, the political prediction exchange, show that traders are betting heavily that this will last at least 20 days, meaning that real economic pain could start to spread well before Washington even notices. So yes, it's definitely political theater, but for millions of Americans, it's starting to feel like real life. Every single week, the government shutdown continues, it's costing the American people real money. JP Morgan estimates that every week that this continues will cost the U.S. 10 to 20 basis points from GDP growth. That might not sound like a lot, but stretch it out over a month and you're talking about billions of dollars in lost output. The biggest hit comes from government workers missing paychecks. There are over 2 million federal workers, and when they are not paid, they're simply not spending money. Add that to the contractors that depend on government contracts and small businesses that rely on government permits and funding, and you got a slowdown that spreads quietly but fast. The Small Business Administration has already stopped approving new loans. The SEC has shut down staff to a skeleton crew, meaning no new IPOs or registrations can go through. Even FHA home loans are getting delayed and first-time buyers are left in limbo.
The FHA, which is the government insurer of home loans and it's part of HUD, it is operating on a skeleton staff. Lenders do get automated loan numbers from FHA, but if there are any problems, they're not likely to get anyone on the phone very fast, and that could delay some closing.
Meanwhile, investors are flying blind. Because of the shutdown, key government reports like jobs data, inflation updates, and GDP releases are all being delayed, which means that the Federal Reserve, which relies on that data to set interest rates, is basically steering the US economy with no dashboard. Think about that. The Fed does not know what's happening in real time. Markets don't know either. It's like turning off your headlights at 2 in the morning on a highway and hoping for the best. In the 2019 slowdown, most of the output that was lost bounced back, but not all of it. About $3 billion was lost forever. And if this one stretches longer, economists say that we could easily double that figure. Because the longer Washington plays chicken, the more the American people stop spending, stop going on vacations, and stop trusting the system. And that loss of confidence is something that no refund check can solve. And it's moments like this that remind you that every dollar matters. Prices are rising and credit card companies keep taking more. And most people are just trying to keep up. That's where Gemini comes in. Did you know you can earn Bitcoin without ever buying it? You can literally get it by swiping your credit card. Today's video is sponsored by Gemini, and they've made this possible with a Bitcoin credit card. The Bitcoin credit card offers instant Bitcoin rewards on every purchase with no annual fee. Check out the description with more info on rates and fees. You can get up to 4% back on gas, transit, and rideshare. 3% on dining, 2% on groceries, and 1% on everything else. And here's why earning something that holds value matters. Right now, credit card debt in the US just hit $1.21 trillion, and the average APR for those carrying a balance is 22%. That's money going straight to interest instead of back in your pocket. With the Bitcoin credit card, every purchase has the potential to work for you instead of against you. It's simple. Use it like any other credit card. But instead of points or miles, you get crypto deposited directly into your Gemini account. Bitcoin rewards earned and held for 1 year on the Gemini credit card have appreciated 277% on average. You are investing as you spend, truly a no-brainer. To sign up for the card, head to Gemini.com/John and get $200 in Bitcoin when you spend $3,000 in the first 90 days. Click the link in the description or go to Gemini.com/John to apply and start earning instantly. Shutdowns don't happen all at once. They spread like a slow wave. The first people to feel it are federal workers, TSA agents, IRS employees, park rangers, over 2 million Americans across the country that suddenly stop getting paid.
Shutdown is affecting hundreds of thousands of federal workers who are going without pay, and the IRS says it plans to furlough more than 34,000 employees, effectively shuttering taxpayer call centers.
They still have rent, they still have groceries, but their paycheck frozen until Washington sorts this out. At airports, air traffic controllers and TSA agents are still on duty. They're essential, but without money, completely unpaid.
Well, among the essential workers still on the job during a shutdown are air traffic controllers. We know how stressful their jobs are on a daily basis, but add to that the uncertainty of not knowing when they'll see their next full paycheck.
And history shows what happens next. Morale drops, sick calls spike.
So we're tracking sick calls, sick leave, and have we had a slight tick up in sick calls? Yes.
And within a few weeks, you start seeing delayed flights and cancellations just because of the staffing shortages. Nobody wants to work for free.
Staffing issues at some air traffic control towers are growing amid the ongoing government shutdown. Last night,
21,000 flights were delayed this week. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy is saying 53% of those delays were caused by sick calls.
2019 shutdown led to major airport delays, CNN. Then you got the WIC and SNAP programs, which feed millions of low-income families.
Federally funded program for women, infants, and children provides aid to more than 6 million low-income families to help cover expenses for food, breastfeeding support, health education, and more.
The USDA says funding for WIC could run out in the matter of a few weeks if the shutdown continues.
Millions of people who rely on food stamps and family aid through federal programs could be at risk of losing assistance during the shutdown because funding was cut off September the 30th.
And some states are already scrambling, spending their own money to fill the gap. And it's not politics to them, it's dinner for their kids. Small business owners are next in line because the Small Business Administration has already paused 7A and 504 loans. Entrepreneurs, they simply can't get funding to expand, to survive, and to pay their expenses. Every day the shutdown continues, thousands of applications pile up, each representing a new business now stuck waiting. Even the housing market isn't safe. FHA and VA home loan processes are slowing. New approvals are delayed, and many first-time home buyers are seeing the dream of homeownership slip away. It's easy to look at the headlines and say, oh, a government shutdown again. But for a lot of Americans, this is not background noise. It's a hard stop. They can't buy, they can't sell, they can't work, and they can't even get basic support that they depend on. That's the part no one in Washington seems to feel. The shutdown hits the people that have the least power to fix it. So the big question, how long could this actually last? Prediction markets like Kalashi are predicting that this will last at least 20 days, which would make it one of the longest in US history. And the longer this drags on, the more pressure points start breaking. Around week 2, you'll start hearing about unpaid military families.
On day 9 of the federal government shutdown, military members are now just 6 days away from going without their first paycheck.
By week 3, airports will start to feel the strain, delays spike, and public pressure skyrockets. Then you hit the real pain, missed paychecks, data blackouts, and markets reacting to uncertainty. And that's usually when Washington will start to cave. Historically, shutdowns end not when politicians find a common ground, but when voters start screaming that they've had enough. So whether it lasts 2 weeks or a month, the longer this goes on, the louder the music inside this political theater. The more expensive the political theater for everyone watching. Here's the truth. Shutdowns have become so common that we almost treat them like political tradition. But this time, feels different because it's happening at a time in which Americans are struggling with inflation. High interest rates, struggling job market, and record high debt.
1/3 of Americans say they have more credit card debt than emergency savings.
Over half of Americans don't have enough savings to cover a $1,000 emergency expense. That's serious.
And when the government stops functioning, it sends a signal that even a system designed to keep things running can break. It erodes trust, it slows recovery, and it leaves ordinary people cleaning up the mess that they didn't cause. The politicians, they'll argue about who's to blame. The headlines will fade, but the longer this shutdown lasts, the harder it's going to be to solve this damage. The kind you don't see on TV. Lost confidence, delayed dreams, in a country that feels a little bit more uncertain than it did yesterday. Because when Washington shuts down, America doesn't stop overnight. It just starts to slow down, one paycheck, one loan, and one family at a time. How do you believe this whole situation will shape up? Do you think this will become the longest government shutdown in US history? Or do you think we're going to resume in about a week or two? And if so, do you think this will just be another big story that's forgotten? To me, this time feels a little bit different. We are in a very unstable world where we're used to insanity. The last 4 or 5 years has been one crazy event after the next. And it just kind of feels like things are gradually getting a little bit worse, a little bit worse, a little bit worse, a little harder. It feels like we're building up to something. And I wonder if this is going to be that big buildup, that big event where we're going to start seeing countries around the world looking at America a little bit differently, looking at the reserve currency a little bit differently. Look at what's happening right now with gold. Gold is skyrocketing. Why? Because uncertainty is high. And I think America is right in the center stage of this uncertainty. And I think we're going to watch a really big show. But I'm curious, what do you see happening here? Let's have a conversation about this below. And for more information on today's sponsor, you can click the link in the description. Catch you next video.